This is Infrequent Exposure, FM 88.1, the one KNTU. You're rocking with Connor. Today we got a special guest in the building. You might know this man as DJ Black Cat. Now he has his own sound, making his own music as Takcalb. Welcome, man. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Great.
Appreciate you having me out.
Hey, man, thanks for coming out, man. I know it was a little bit of a drive, but I appreciate you making that drive for me.
Hey, it means a lot. Thank you.
So I know you're from Washington, D.C., a whole DMV area. You said you were raised in the whole DMV area.
Yes.
What made you want to make the switch to come to Texas instead of a place like, California or New York City?
Oh, wow.
Because you came here for music, right?
No, actually, I actually ended up in Texas because of a long, drawn-out story with kids and this, that, and the other. So how I actually landed in Texas didn't have anything to do with music, like literally at all. That had to do with, yeah, that's a whole nother story.
Right on, all right.
So, but yeah. But I definitely, once I got to Texas, I planted my ground in music. I planted it first with the DJing because of the situation I was in. It was just easier for me to continue with music and deal with my situation at the moment.
Okay.
So
before we talk about Takcalb, I want to talk about Black Cat a little bit. So you're in the Dub Commission, right? You're currently in Dub Commission.
Right.
How'd you get into dubstep music?
Wow, that was back in like 2004, 2003. My homeboy Dragon Man, he's one of the lead DJs of the crew, and he just hanging out with him, during like '05, I think. He started playing this different music every time I came over to his house. And I was like, man, what is that? And he's like, it's dubstep from the UK. And I was like, what? I was like, it had like a hip hop feel to it, but it had something like an EDM, but not completely EDM feel. And so we started chopping it up. Next thing you know, we formed a group, and then Dub Commission was born.
That's actually like real cool because I know dubstep didn't really get popular in the United States. Maybe like, dang, I must have been freshman year high, like 2009.
Yeah,
2010.
yeah.
So that was kind of cool that you're on the way before anyone else in the country was on the way, man.
Literally, it was only two DJ crews in DFW, and one of them was a Dub Assembly with Jason Mundo in Dallas, and then it was us, Dub Commission in Fort Worth. So we were the only leading pioneers in DFW that were pushing dubstep, like DJing it out to clubs. So
man,
I was at the beginning of it all.
Man, that's real cool, man.
Yeah, I met a lot of cats that from California and other parts of the U.S. that were doing UK style dubstep, but it just didn't blow up like it should have. But yeah, it was crazy shows, crazy times back then. I enjoyed it, man, a lot.
Yeah. So going to your new persona as Takcalb, what made you want to switch your name from Black Cat to Takcalb?
Yeah, I'll make this short and sweet. There was a project back in 2011, end of 2011, 2012. It was a white dude. He had like tattoos on his face. I'm not gonna mention his name, but people know who he is. And he wanted to get into hip hop, but back then I was just DJing dubstep music and making beats. And so one thing led to another. He found out I could rap while he was at my house, and I was making beats for him. I made like 6 beats for him, and he pressured me into do it. Like after 3 months, I was like, you know what? I've never done it. Let's do it. I've done so many other genres of music throughout my whole time of doing music. I was like, ain't nobody gonna hear this. Let me just run it. Next thing I know, I ran it with him. We did shows, blah blah blah. I got signed to a record label, and then this, that, and the other went on, and here I am right now. And so that's really how this whole thing came about, by me really trying to help somebody else out, and then it's turned around the way it is right now. So
you could always rap.
Yeah, I always could have.
You could always rap when you were doing the dubstep thing.
Yeah, the dubstep thing, and even back home in DMV, a lot of guys that grew up in DMV, which I did a song with on this project. Some guys that grew up, Scooby Lou and SOS. But, growing up back then, a lot of them always rapped. I was always interested in playing the bass guitar because I can play the bass and DJing and beat making. So I could always flow, but it wasn't a drive for me back then. I was really the guy like, oh yeah, Takcalb makes the beats, blah 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 blah. So yeah, man, it just led up to this. It's just crazy how this just happened for me.
Yeah, yeah. If I would have known if you were a dubstep DJ and you were just a rapper, if I would have just known you as Takcalb, I would have never guessed that you were a dubstep DJ because your sound when you're Takcalb is so different than when you're Black Cat. Why such a difference?
I think it's I don't know, man. You know, from one song to the next, when I'm making with the Takcalb sound, it just comes out how it comes out. I think with Black Cat was more or less on the dubstep EDM side, and so when I transferred over, even with my first project I did was actually all my beats kind of influenced from the dubstep EDM side. And so what I did at that first project was going with that vibe, and then eventually just paying attention what's going on and what's live and what's popping. I just eventually just was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and switch it over here. Let me see how I can work it this way. And so that's how my transition from my original sound for the Takcalb sound, from the Black Cat sound, because I did I'm getting ready to tell people this. I did an actual Black Cat album. It's on, and it never sold. It's just one of those, and it's all beats. It's a very, how can I say it? It has more of a avant-garde hip hop / just very, I don't know, just very instrumental, very eclectic type of beat style. Man, so yeah, I made, if you really go back and listen to everything that I did, is a big circle, a big switch from one side to the other, from where I am right now.
Yeah. So who would you say influences you in the music industry right now?
Oh, in the industry right now, I mean, several different people. You know, a lot of people are hating on the younger guys right now for what they're doing, calling it mumble rap,
like Lil Yachty, Lil Uzi Vert,
Ugly Guy,
Ugly
just
Guy.
all these. You know, they keep like
X and all them,
and it's like, why are you doing that? They're leading the way. They're creating another lane for it. And so for me, I'm influenced by them just for the freshness that they have. Not saying I rap like that, because I don't. But I definitely appreciate their movement. And then if you want to take a step back for who else has influenced me, there's so many different artists, man. I mean, from so many different genres that really influenced me. But I guess if you had to like really tap into hip hop, my biggest influence, most people probably don't even know, he died not too long ago, was Sean Price from the Boot Camp Clique and Duck Down Records in New York. I mean, for me, Sean Price is like the ultimate MC for me of all time. You know, for music-wise, DC, go-go music has always been number one. I grew up with that. That's just from Washington, D.C. That's what we have. But the best rapper for me to like really get my influence from, not necessarily say you hear him in me, but it's really Sean Price.
Sean Price, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the DMV, I know they got like Wale.
Oh, yeah. Fat Trail. Shy Glizzy.
Yeah.
One little young dude who died not too long ago, he was just getting ready to blow up, was Swipey. I think it was Swipey. Yeah, I think what his name was.
And I guess in that whole area, you got Macklemore.
Right.
And then Chris Brown's from Virginia.
Yeah.
And, that whole scene. It's like, I think the DMV is really underrated when it comes to like talent and stuff. Everyone talks about, Miami, New York, California, but we got a lot of good artists that come from the DMV.
Oh, and there's this one group that most people don't even talk about, and that's Godzilla.
Really?
Yeah, Erykah Badu did a thing with them a long time ago, and they did a music video and song with Sean Price from New York. I mean, and they really are like, to me, they're like a blend of DC / New York hip hop. And I grew up listening to New York and DC hip hop, and like it kind of kills me because those dudes they're cold, and people aren't, I think, gravitating to them like they should. I know they got their own thing going on, but yeah, that's one other group that's pretty popping.
Yeah. So I guess whenever you blow up,
appreciate that. A lot of work I got to do.
Hey, who do you think would be the first artist that you want to call and say, hey, can you get on a song with me?
Oh man, really?
Yeah.
The first one?
Or whoever, if you work up to the point, like who would be the dream collaboration for Takcalb?
Currency.
Currency?
Yeah.
I like Currency.
Currency. I mean, even if it was just one song, because the reason why I say that, man, is because that dude has done so many different songs with so many different people.
Yeah, he seems like he puts out a tape like every month.
All the time. And you look at some of the matchups that he does collabs with, and you're kind of like, he did it with who? So yeah, man, if I could just have one, it would be Currency. One song.
He's still independent, right?
Yeah, he's still independent with Jet Life.
That man makes money. Like,
big time.
He's going to make a lot of money if he stays independent.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Definitely.
You go to his shows and they like, man.
Most definitely.
Getting it.
So tell me about Pangea. Like, what was the inspiration or the concept behind that whole song?
Pangea, we can start with the beat first. The beat, I don't mind telling. Most artists won't tell the beats and who they get it from. But Twan the Beatmaker had made this beat, and it was just a very soulful type of beat with a like a bluesy old man and black man in the background singing with a somewhat of a trap style beat.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was listening to it, it just really called to me to talk about uplifting like earthly water, sky, moon, and mainly just women. Just a very uplifting type, upbeat type song to get you in a very soulful, warm type mood. And I did that on purpose because I needed to have a meaningful song. And most people who've heard this song, the reaction I get back is like, wow, Will, you really like hit it on that one. And that definitely is letting me know that I hit the point on that song. And so yeah, it was really just a uplifting, build up, make you feel good type song.
Yeah, that's when I listen to it. That's just pretty much what explains it. Just a good vibes, good feeling song. Yeah, I know you just shout out your producers, but do you have you ever made a beat for a Takcalb song?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I got one on this project. I just released it. I'm working on sharing it and getting the plays up. But yeah, it's called Last Leg, and this song's kind of dirty. Not dirty in the sense of vulgar, but it just has a very strong message of it's basically a song about be careful what you do to other people because it may come back on you. That's basically the gist of the song. But yes, that song right there, Last Leg, that beat on that song I made myself completely. And I made that beat like 4 years ago, which is crazy. And I'm using it now. Yeah, so you just never know.
Yeah, that just shows you how ahead of the time you are.
I appreciate that, man. I really do appreciate that.
So I was before you came in here, I was jamming to the Limo joint.
Oh yeah, I just dropped that one recently.
Yeah, you just dropped it. I really like that song. Tell me about that song. How did that come about?
Oh wow, that's an interesting one. That song really is a big shout out to Chuck Brown, the godfather of go-go music in DC. He died a long time ago. He used to travel around with a lot of the jazz and James Brown. He's a guitar player and singer. He created go-go music for DC. But anyway, growing up as a kid, I used to see Chuck Brown driving around in a limo all the time. I used to thought, somebody was driving him. No, it was his car he was driving. So that song came from me visualizing that and then just putting together a real simple, not simple, but a very party, upbeat type song that anybody can relate to about wanting to be in a limo or the reaction you get when you see a limo. And so I just had fun with it. And it's just experiences I had with being in limos myself and just kind of put it together, and then it popped. And I mentioned DMV and Fort Washington and Chuck Brown's name's in there as well. So it was really a big shout out to Chuck Brown. I really respect go-go music from where I'm from, man. A lot of people downplayed it and this, that, and the other, but it's still making waves. So
yeah, you've been talking about this project. Do you have a name for the project yet?
Actually, no, man. I this whole time I've been working on this project for about a year, maybe almost 2. I still haven't come up with a name, so I just, copyright-wise, I just called it Takcalb.
Self-titled.
Yeah,
like
just self-titled. You know?
Yeah, I know people can grab your music on iTunes.
That's another funny thing you said that about iTunes, man. I going into this, I didn't know if I was going to make any sales.
Yeah.
And I actually have made sales on iTunes from this project. So just to let everybody know, if you're out there, man, don't hesitate to put your stuff up on these digital distribution companies and promote it, because you just never know. You don't know. And anyway, just saying, just to touch grounds, I have made sales, thankfully for anybody who has bought it.
Yeah. So I'm trying to stay away from the whole Black Cat thing. I know we're here to talk about.
It's okay. It's fine. People know about it. So
yeah. So I just wanted to know is like, would you ever consider, I guess, incorporating a Black Cat beat into a Takcalb verse and then make a song like that?
Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna come about again. That's kind of the reasons why I kind of touched on it for this project, just to give a little feel, because the first project I did had nothing but Black Cat beats and Takcalb rapping over it, but that was hard to push in a world that's full of trap. I mean, and I was doing shows 3 years ago with just pushing my original sound, and I'm telling you, man, I would be in front of big crowds, small crowds, and no matter what nationality the crowd was, most people would just stare at me like, what in the world is this? They never booed.
Yeah.
They were just like, this is a little different. I get off stage, walk around, talk to people, and they were feeling it. So I think it's just finding the right combination with the beat to filter it in properly. And yeah, in the future, more of it will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the group Watch the Duck?
No.
What I was trying to think, because like I know you do dubstep and they do dubstep and they rap. They're signed to T.I.'s Grand Hustle.
Really?
Yeah. So that's what, when I read your bio before I heard any of your song, that's what I kind of thought that you would kind of sound like. Like a Watch the Duck. But it was completely left. It went left. But yeah, I was wondering if you heard of them. But yeah, they're real cool. I think you will really enjoy them.
I'm gonna check them out.
Yeah,
yeah. Appreciate you for sharing that. I never heard of them until right now.
Yeah, man. So besides the project you got going on right now that you're working on, you have any upcoming projects?
Actually, I got this one song. Well, Limo is gonna be remixed with Ronnie Blaze, the owner of R2 Music Enterprises in Arlington. I used to be signed with. He's gonna be doing a 16-bar verse on that, and a young lady I did a show with a long time ago named Miss Kisa from Florida. She's supposed to be dropping the 16 bars on that, so it's just gonna kind of just one of those remixes to a song that I think is really, really good. I think Limo has that thing. I'm gonna push it and see what happens, but I feel like, I don't know, that'll just spark up and then also touch other crowds I need to touch with those two people being in that song. So I'm just expanding. But there is, another project in the works. I've already picked like 7 other beats from Twan the Beatmaker. And that one will be coming next year. Very soon next year.
Most definitely.
Very soon. I mean, this one's people aren't gonna expect this, but yeah, it's coming.
Most definitely. Yeah, whenever you get done with that Limo, whenever you get done with the final version, make sure you send it to me. Okay. I'll get on the radio as soon as I could. I really like that joint.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey,
I'll do it.
Takcalb is here. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by, man.
Hey, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Takcalb or Black Cat, wherever one you know him, you can go get his music right now on iTunes. Give him your social media real quick.
Social media at Takcalb, Takcalb. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. If you really want to hear my music, go to hawkshare.com /Takcalb, Takcalb. And then you also have Takcalb.com. We're still working on the website, but that's definitely coming soon. But yeah, anywhere, 30 sites in and out the country. It's even on Microsoft.com if you just want to go there and listen to it. So thanks, man.
Hey, you heard it here first, guys. Infrequent Exposure, FM 88.1 The One, KNTU.